Are you recording now? I'm recording. Look, that's me. Look.
All right. We are live. Today is going to be a little special episode. I got one of my good childhood friends, Kyle, here, and we're going to dig right into it. This is the According to Us podcast under the umbrella of Sportsman Dan. If you guys want to go check out his videos, he does a lot of card hobbies. He's on here. He might jump in here. We don't know. We're not too sure yet, but we're just going to get right into it. And speaking of standing and banging, pause. We're gonna go ahead and just get right into some big UFC card this weekend. It's I don't know. Would you say it's one of the best ones that we've had in the past couple of weeks?
Yeah, first fight since the Christmas break. First card on Paramount. We're gonna start off the Paramount era with bang. We got this to look forward to for the next 7 years. So hopefully this one turns out good.
How I'm taking a look at these lineups because I'm not too informed yet, but I'm excited for it. Let's just jump into a couple of questions here. What's going to be your most favorite fight to watch, and what are you excited to see out of somebody in that fight?
So on the prelims, the co-main of the prelims, Gutierrez is fighting. This guy is an animal. 9-1. It's a great matchup too. 9-1. This guy is a freak of nature. Hard hands. He's just an athletic specimen. There's tape of him getting shot on instead of defending a takedown like a normal person, sprawling. He'll just straight up push you off of him and then hit you so hard in the head you see God. That's going to be awesome.
Is he an upcoming fighter? Or is he's been around a little bit, or is this one of Dana's new purses?
Yeah, he's a younger guy. I don't know where Dana finds these guys, but this guy is young. Only 10 professional fights, which is kind of unheard of to start in the UFC at, but this guy is the real deal.
All right. He's going up against Poyev.
Yeah, good luck saying that.
And Andre Poyev or something.
He's got some stuff. He's kind of well-rounded. He'll shoot a takedown, but he kind of wants to stand with you, which I don't think is going to bode well for him.
All right, and he's taking on the I see Umar Nurmagomedov in there too.
Yeah, Umar versus Davison Figueiredo. That Umar comes from Khabib, a Dagestani guy.
Those guys are. They've been taking over the UFC. They've been absolutely dominating. Don't they have like two or three of that? Like I don't know if I would say camp, but don't they have like two or three of them holding belts in different weights, or like at least two of them?
Yeah, Islam holds one, and then Shemaev holds the other, and they both just don't lose rounds. Umar is going to do the same thing. Davison Figueiredo, former flyweight champion, moves up to bantamweight. Davison Figueiredo is a good fighter, but his best days are far and away behind him. Umar, while he is on the older side, those daggy guys, he's going to get a hold of him, and then he's going to smother him for 3 straight rounds.
There's going to be a lot of wrestling. Yeah, prelims are only 3 rounds. I forget that sometimes, but with those guys, they have so much gas in the tank. I mean, they train super hard, so it's honestly kind of unfair just making him do 3 rounds, but also kind of unfair to the other guy if you make him do 5, because then it's just 5 straight rounds of getting held on the ground and manhandled in every single way that you try to move. I see that Derek Lewis is getting himself on the main card again. He's always an exciting guy to see on there. I love watching his post-fight interviews a lot more than I do like watching his fight. I'm not saying I don't like watching this fight, but I mean, we've gotten plenty of clip-worthy quotes out of Derek Lewis. My balls.
What's your favorite one?
My balls is hot. That one. He just always. I actually look forward to him winning, just so that way we get a good one. Because like when you lose, you don't really want to talk. But once Derek Lewis wins, not only do you see the Black Beast pound the ground, but then he's going to say something absolutely absurd after, which is always something nice to watch, especially if you have a little bit of money on him too. You win a fight and you get an excellent post-fight, pretty much a clip. Everything he says gets clipped after a win.
Yeah. So my favorite Derek Lewis post-fight interview moment has to be when DC goes and interviews him for one of the best knockouts of his career. DC goes, obviously standard question, who do you want next? Derek Lewis looks directly in the camera and says, I want my wife next. Lots of
Yes.
ground and pound. The guy's awesome. Apparently, he's Trump's favorite fighter. The guy is just a riot. But
Was that the one too where he was like, I've been in the gym, I've been training and shit, I gotta put the body on her, or like something like that. Like
he looks at the camera. He goes, I want my wife next. Lots and ground and pound.
yeah. No, that's what it was. Um I'm looking at the odds right now. They have him at plus 250. Do you think there's any chance or any way that he wins this fight? I'm just looking at the odds. I don't even know who he's fighting. I see the name Waldo Cortez Acosta.
Yeah. So
Not familiar, but do you think there's any chance that that we get a good post fight interview from him?
yeah. So just from a straight betting perspective, Derek Lewis obviously the most knockouts in UFC history, right? Guy has lightning in his hands. However, Derek Lewis is old. He's been in the UFC for God, very, very long. And when you're a heavyweight and you take all those punches, you have the tendency to have a glass jaw. Derek Lewis is at the point right now where he has a glass jaw. Waldo is a beast. Waldo has fought 3 times last year, and he tried to break the record with 4 heavyweight fights in a single year. Couldn't get it done, but I watched Waldo's last fight against some big fat Russian dude. He is so slippery, so quick with his striking. Kind of imagine just a little bit of a slower, more powerful Gon. Guy is slick. Guy can put your lights out. I don't see it going well for Derek Lewis, but if you do want to root for the post-game interview where Derek Lewis is saying the funniest thing, I think Derek Lewis knockout first round is incredible value because the only way he's going to get it done is within the first 2 minutes. He's going to gas out, and then he gets really sloppy when he gasses out.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. In the most recent fights that I feel like I've seen Derek Lewis, it's like first round, he's coming out good, and then about halfway through the second round, he just looks gassed, and it's either like he's just taking. He could take a couple hits, but it just looks so bad because it's almost like you're waiting for him to fall, but he just stands up and then out of nowhere, just when you think there's a glimmer of light, that light just gets dimmed out real quick and he's just done. But
so another thing with Waldo is he doesn't really push the pace. He's a counter puncher, so he really traditionally fights off his back foot. Derek Lewis likes to come in, and obviously, like I said, if it's a knockout if it's a win for Derek Lewis, knockout first round, and
yeah, he's all glass in the beginning.
And that's when you get catch him when we're backing up. So,
all right. Now, I know that he's not the main card, and I know before the main card, there's another really good fight that's on the prowl. You got Sugar Sean coming back. Haven't heard much from him. It seems like he's just been kind of staying out the way and just sticking to his craft. He's fighting Song Yadong.
Song Yadong.
Song Yadong. I've never heard of Song Yadong, but I have heard of Sugar Sean. I wouldn't really say I'm a Sugar Sean fan. Like, I'm not like, oh my God, he's fighting. But I do love Sugar Sean. I remember watching him. He was on The Ultimate Fighter, I think.
He was on Contender Series. I mean,
That's
but if you know any 12-year-olds, Sean O'Malley's their favorite fighter.
Yeah, and I mean, I remember seeing like young Sean O'Malley before he had the tattoos, and he just had that long little black curly hair, and he was hitting spinning back fists and just absolutely cranking people's jaws. I do like the image and the kind of, obviously no one can bring the same kind of fire that a good old McGregor would bring to a fight, and I haven't seen anyone do it since. But when you see Sugar Sean on the card, there is a lot to kind of expect, and I feel like I don't know how his last fight went, so I won't lie to you, but I know he hasn't really been trending up, I feel like lately. He's just been kind of like slowly in the middle of dipping down and up, if I'm not mistaken. But what do you think? What do you think about that? What do you think about this fight coming up?
Just as a background, obviously I'm not a Song Yadong super fan, but the guy's all right. He kind of Song Yadong kind of middles out where he'll fight guys that are ranked within like the 5 to 10 range, and then he beats those guys up, gets a step up in competition, just gets worked. Um, he fought Henry Cejudo. That one was weird. Ended in an eye poke, and then he won. Really weird. But the one you really want to look at is him versus Corey Sandhagen. I just had the pleasure of rewatching that, and Corey Sandhagen is a very, very similar fighter to Sean O'Malley, just with the slick striking and all that stuff. So I am a betting man, and if I didn't have bills and a dog and a puppy, I would take out a second mortgage on my house, sell my mom's house, and possibly murder my firstborn child to collect the life insurance and bet it all on Sean O'Malley. I think the only way he loses is if Song Yadong pulls out a gun and shoots him in the forehead. Sean O'Malley, he's
You think Sean O'Malley at -200 is just an absolute lock? Hammer it. It's a mega unit.
Yeah, I mean, the only guy he lost his last 2 fights both to Merab, who is one of the greatest bantamweight fighters I've ever seen in my life, and that stylistically isn't a good matchup for Sean. And why it's not a good matchup is Merab has crazy cardio. He could take you down. Song Yadong poses 0 of those threats. It's going to be standing up, and it's going to be 15 minutes of Sean O'Malley making him look like a punching bag.
All right. So bet the house and the town on Sugar Sean. I mean, I'm rocking with Sugar Sean. Not that I know much about the other guy, but definitely like Sugar Sean better than, I guess, Song Yadong.
Song Yadong.
Someone's
persuasion.
Someone's song is gonna get sung in that round, in that fight, I should say. And I mean, obviously you got the main card. I'm excited to see Justin Gaethje get back out there. I again don't know too much about everything that goes on here, but one thing I do know is Justin Gaethje is a full-blown American, baby. And there were talks about him possibly fighting on the White House. He was like itching to get on there. I think I was seeing something with that. I also saw something about Conor trying to get on into the White House too, which would probably be electric. But Justin's the underdog in this one. You think he's going to be able to pull it on Patty?
I love Justin. So Patty gets so much credit, and I can't understand why. Last fight he goes in and beats Michael Chandler, which for some reason everybody believes Michael Chandler is some type of world beater, but he's 2-5 in the UFC. And the last time he won a fight was against Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson was coming off a 7-fight losing streak, and he knocked him out. That happened in 2023, 3 years ago. Prior to that, you have to go back all the way to 2021 when Michael Chandler beat Dan Hooker. That's the best win on his resume. Prior to that, he beat Bobby Green, King Green, whatever he changed his name. He's a nobody. And then he beat Tony Ferguson, who at the time was going off of a 9-fight losing streak. Justin Gaethje has been in there with everybody. Everybody, your favorite fighter, your brother's favorite fighter, Justin Gaethje has been in there with him. And where I think this matchup becomes interesting is, Patty has this weird standing up fighting style where he gets really sloppy. He hangs his chin, and he gets away with it because, he's got a great chin, and he said in an interview, scourgers don't get knocked out or whatever.
The scourgers don't get knocked out.
Justin Gaethje will knock him out if he hangs his chin. The only way that, I see Patty winning is if he takes him down, makes it boring, and all that. But, Justin Gaethje does not get enough credit for being a great defensive wrestler. The only person who's ever taken him down in his career is Khabib, and Khabib would take down anybody. He got taken down by Fiziev once, but that's just because he caught a leg kick. I think Justin Gaethje is going to make this look easy and show there's levels to this.
Yeah, and I mean, Justin Gaethje won his last fight against what's that? Raphael? Is that who he fought last time?
Yeah, the guy's an animal too. I mean, no, he can't get fights because no one wants to fight him. He fights really boring too. He's one of those guys who will cardio you, wrestle you. He just got beat up by Justin Gaethje twice.
Yeah, I was gonna say he only has four losses, and two of those have come from the same guy. And I mean, Justin Gaethje. I mean, Patty's got a lot of fights under his belt, almost the same as Justin. But where do you think the turning point is going to be in this? Do you think it's going to be strictly on who has the better standing game? Because if I'm not mistaken, Justin's got a little bit of a ground game as well in him too, right? Or is he more of just a
Yeah, so Justin D1 All-American wrestler, allergic to shooting takedowns. If Patty could take a round or two off of him, taking him down, using it. Patty has great jiu-jitsu, and if he could use that for a round or two, he could steal a round or two like that. However, Patty has never fought a 5-round fight. Justin has only fought 5-round fights. Patty has, been shown to just start withering away at the end of third rounds. What happens when you get to round 4? What happens when you get to round 5? Your technique gets sloppy. He's already sloppy. I don't see it voting well. I think if you got Patty, you gotta do a finish in the first 3 rounds.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one. I want to see Justin Tate the win just because, I mean, I do like Patty. But I mostly just like his clips. I like the whole scout thing. I do like how he just kind of he's got like a certain swagger about him. But
there's just something about the stars and bars, dude.
Dude, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And
it's something about the stars and bars.
Justin Gaethje dude, you can't go. You got to go for the American man, dude. You got to go for him.
America is turning 250 years old this year.
Dude, it's Justin Gaethje.
You think some English guy, that red coat, is going to come in to our land and take a title, and it's not a real title, an interim title from us? It's not going to happen. You ever hear of the Boston Tea Party?
Where are they having this fight in the U.S.?
Vegas.
Oh, come on. Justin's not going to let that little Vegas purse slip out of his American hands, baby. Well, all right. So I guess for that main card, I'm also a betting man. So if you were to put something together, obviously Sean O'Malley's on the slip. We like Justin Gaethje.
Yeah. So I like Justin Gaethje money line, O'Malley money line, Waldo Cortez money line, Gene Silva, which are we goofing on this pod? This is a goofing type pod.
We're goofing.
So in the press conference on Thursday, Gene Silva, who is fighting Arnold Allen, which is going to be a very fun fight, announced unprovoked to the crowd that he took a test and he was diagnosed with autism, which
that Gene Silva is diagnosed with autism, or Arnold Allen has autism.
By the way, nobody solicited this information out of him. He doesn't even speak English, so he just straight up said to his translator, "I took a test." Which, I mean, if you know Gene Silva, he's been barking since he's been in the UFC. And when I say bark, like, he just gets mad at someone and barks at them. So nobody saw that coming. But Gene Silva too. There's other fights on here that you could make money. If you're trying to throw a Hail Mary, I would also like Michael Johnson to beat Hernandez on the early prelims. Michael Johnson's really old, but that guy's lightning quick. And sometimes when you put an old guy versus a newer guy, the old guy just knows some things, man.
Well, shit, dude. It might be bad on the boy with autism. He's gonna get out there and throw some freaking quarter pounders on somebody.
He's on my parlay, dude. The guy's a stud.
He's making them at night. All right, so
where's the cheese, G?
Where's that cheese, Danny? All right, so we got Justin Gaethje, Sean O'Malley, Waldo Cortez, Gene Silva. Book it. We're not financial advisors, so if you do bet the house on Sean O'Malley and a miracle happens where Song Yadong has a Barrett 50 cal posted in his shorts and pulls it out and does something wacko, then don't come crying to us.
Yeah.
So before we move on to a different subject here, so Justin Gaethje and Patty, this is I know you said it was like an interim. Does this mean that the winner of this will get a shot at the actual title, or
Yep. So my
who
current favorite fighter in the UFC
who are their
since
next?
John Jones retired is Ilya Deporia. The guy is nuts everywhere. So the winner of this gets to go get knocked out by Ilya Deporia. Ilya Deporia had to step away because he has a messy divorce of all things. So he tweeted out the other day he's gonna be back sometime between April and June, and he'll be ready to go then.
I mean, that's right around the corner. Yeah, I feel like yeah, honestly, if you give me these two names and then you give me Ilya, I'm kind of like, that's not really too fair.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, at least they'll have something to, hang on their hat going into that. And I mean, you never know, something might happen. But
Yeah, it's the fight game, dude. Crazy stuff happens.
yeah,
And that's why we watch.
exactly. Dana keeps on drawing us in, and plus, I mean, by that time, I mean, I think they're trying to do the White House one in June, right? Or like
Yeah,
May,
that's
something on there.
June.
So,
They couldn't get the 4th of July date, but that's June. I kind of don't want to, especially if Patty wins. I wouldn't want to see that on the White. I think the White House card, because every time they go to another country, they'll stack it up with fighters from that country, even if you're not good. And I think that Donald Trump is going to get in Uncle Dana's ear and be like, "Hey, stack it in our favor," and just have like minus 1,000 odds for all of the boys back in the blue.
yeah, dude, they might just pull someone out from the dirt and be like, "All right, buddy, get in there."
Yeah,
But no,
dude.
I think it would be very electric.
If I'm Dana, I'm not making one card I'm not making one fight that isn't extremely skewed for the American fighter.
Yeah, something to really pump it up, especially just going into summer, dude. It's the USA summer. I mean, just gotta back up the boys and show them what's good.
250 years of freedom.
I mean, you definitely need to put Justin on that if he's going to be able to good to go. You got to give Derek Lewis a win on there. I mean,
So that's another thing that popped up in the press conference is it was outed that Derek Lewis is Donald Trump's favorite fighter, which is just hilarious.
it's great. I wonder if Trump even knows his name. He's like, look at that guy, very big guy.
Very big guy, wants to mount his wife.
Yeah, he's gonna ground and pound him. You like that?
His balls are hot.
He's got hot balls, great balls, American balls.
Big American balls.
Speaking of American balls, travesty happened last weekend during the NFL games. There was a lot of scrutiny that was going on, a lot of rampage online from social media, from a lot of fans. Typically, the boys, the Bills Mafia. We're going to touch in on some football stuff, and we won't stay here too long, but that is going to be our last topic to touch on, something that is pretty big. I mean, I would talk about Indiana's win, but after slaughterhousing my Ducks and Carson Beck showing that he's not him, there's really not much to talk about on that topic.
You got to give Carson Beck some credit, though, man. He had, although it was a very long college career, he had one of the best college careers for a quarterback you could have. I mean, goes from Georgia to dominating teams all the time, consistently in the playoffs, gets kind of thrown away from Georgia after, something that wasn't really his fault. He got hurt in the SEC championship game against Texas, and then thrown by the wayside, signs for multi-million dollars to go to the U, and then no, I mean, at least I didn't expect anything from the U, and they go out and they make it that far. I mean, hell of a career, Carson Beck. They just ran to a buzzsaw.
Yeah, Notre Dame were frauds. I think we found that out. Miami was the real deal. They made the right choice. Yeah, I mean, I give Carson Beck a lot of credit. I mean, just taking obviously, I mean, they got that great true freshman Malachi Tony, wide receiver, who I think is going to have a great collegiate career. I wonder if he's going to stay with Miami, but I know that he's going to be a name that's going to be something to watch on when it comes time for him to get that call into coming into the league. I mean, for a true freshman to be on like just that stage, I mean, throughout just them getting to that point has just been a big star-studded guy. Miami had a great team too. Do you think their ceiling is gonna? Do you think they just rise from here, or what are your looks at for the next year? Do you think Indiana's gonna stay as good? What's your thoughts for next year? Or some early polls on who's
Some
looking
early
better?
polls. Texas turns into the team that everyone thought they were going to be. Texas, I mean, very biased here, but Arch Manning came alive at the end of the year. You know, they beat 3 ranked teams. It was an absolute crime that they were not in the playoffs. Beat 3 top 10 teams. 2 of the teams that they beat got into the playoffs. And Texas is a team to watch out for. Ohio State, obviously. I mean, they're getting everyone back. Their talent levels unreal. Indiana's a weird one because Indiana has 0 5-star recruit players, but Chris Ignati's got them boys possessed. Michigan, I like too. The coach that they got from Utah, that guy had a hell of a program at Utah. Utah, while they didn't really win that much in terms of winning the Big 12 and getting to the playoffs, Utah was always a respectable program that always had good talent. I mean, look at my Buffalo Bills. I mean, we have 2 key players that are former Utah players. Let's see here.
I think you're leaving a team out.
The Duckies.
The Oregon Ducks, baby.
The Duckies. Yeah, the Duckies are going to get to the dance. The Duckies have an unlimited bankroll. From the ACC, though, I got to stick with my boy. Damian Maya, the Duke quarterback, if he doesn't transfer, he did enter the transfer portal, but there's a weird situation going on right now where Duke is trying to sue him for breach of contract. I don't know. If Damian Maya stays the quarterback at Duke, they are winning the ACC. This kid is electric. Bet on him every week. Bet his overs every week. The guy is just good. Has nothing to work with over there. No run game. Mediocre wide receivers. That guy is a baller.
Do you see the coach for Ole Miss is, getting investigated because he texted that Clemson linebacker and was like, "I know you already signed, but what's your buyout?" Or like something like that, dude. He was scheming. He was like, "Yo, I know you're in class, but how much?"
That's all of college ball. I mean, the funniest part that came out of that story was the agent for the player in question came back to Clemson, came back to Dabo Sweeney at Clemson, and he was just like, if you give him $100,000 more than what he's going to be getting paid at Ole Miss, we will send you the text messages between the Ole Miss coach and the player that clearly violated on the rules. Oh, you are frozen, brother.
Ooh,
Oh,
man, I glitched out for a second.
I was about to say you are frozen.
No, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, continue on. I don't know how much is going to catch or what it did catch, but yeah. So he was being a little skeever and was like, "Hey, buddy."
Yeah. So just to reiterate, the agent for the player in question, his agent texted Dabo Sweeney at Clemson. He goes, "Hey, if you give us $100,000 more than what Ole Miss is giving us, we will not only commit to play for Clemson, but we will also leak the illegal tampering text messages between the player and Ole Miss."
Damn. So they're like, "Yo, you give us more money and we'll give you the player and some dirt."
Yeah, we'll give you the player and we'll get that coach suspended.
Wait, so Damn, dude, that's kind of frisky. So, I mean, does that help? Does that help them at all? Like, is that gonna really knock Ole Miss down a peg, or like?
I guess we'll see. I mean, nobody knows what that Ole Miss coach is. I mean, that coach just got inherited Lane Kiffin's. Lane Kiffin left for LSU, and that coach just got inherited
They're
Lane
just
Kiffin's
trying to
whole
leave Ole Miss
staff and culture
coastless.
and everything.
They don't want no coach for Ole Miss.
Yeah. But, it's college football. Everybody in the sport cheats. Everybody.
Yeah, I mean, not John Harbaugh though. He never stole signs, dude. That's all alleged.
Jad Harbaugh is just the biggest non-cheater ever, if you ask me.
I mean, who would steal signs? What a terrible thing to do.
What a dirty rascal.
What he needs to do is he needs to steal an O-line for F-man Justin Herbert back there and get him some damn blockers.
Dude, they have an O-line. Chargers is cursed. I mean, remember the beginning of the season? Slater, for some reason, just dies. Then Joe Alt, middle of the season, dies. I mean, what more can you do? He gave him the pieces. There's
the football guys might say it's karma on Harbaugh for some nasty things he might have done while he was a collegiate coach. But you know what? That's near there. That's not for me to say.
You want to know what? If I was a fantasy football player, they just signed Mike McDaniel to be the offensive coordinator. I am selling my firstborn child to whoever's in position to draft Amari Hampton.
Didn't what was I gonna say? Didn't there's been so many movements of coaches and stuff. Philip Rivers just got interviewed to be the Bills head coach, which I thought was kind of funny.
Okay, little context for listeners. I live in Buffalo, New York, and am a diehard Bills fan. If Philip Rivers is the head coach of my Buffalo Bills, I will strap a bomb to my chest and walk into the Buffalo Bills facility.
Do you think I mean, I've seen petitions on everything while we're on the topic of the Bills. I watched that press conference with Bean and Pagula, and it reminded me of when Palpatine was taken over to become a senator in Star Wars. For the listeners that are a little bit nerdy, as you can see, I got my Star Wars stuff in the back. And watching that, it just didn't make any sense. I don't like how they just threw Keon under the bus. Not saying that Keon was the best guy this year. I mean, he had a great game against the Ravens. But a lot of the reporters, I feel like, were asking a lot of the questions that a lot of the fans were wondering. Like, they were asking, like, was it coaching or was it not actually building a staff? I mean, they even tried to pull that sneaky move where they signed Darius Slay to try to keep him away from the Eagles. And Darius Slay was like, I'm not playing for anybody else. So, like, and then for Bean to, like, backtrack and Pagula to defend him on the whole Keon draft, like, in the video, it might have been Hard Knocks. My sources might be wrong. But he's like, yeah, we're taking this guy. Like, we like this guy. Like, if we can get him, we're taking him. Like, so hard on it. And now it's like, oh, it's not my fault. They wanted him. So I've seen a lot of, petitions going around. Do you think Sean McDermott was the problem? I mean, my opinion was that as much as I love Sean, I mean, there is a point to think, like, so many years and there hasn't been a getting over that hump. But I could also see attending to the thing of not having wide receivers. I mean, last year, the whole thing was the Bills aren't going to be as good because they have no wide receivers, and Josh got it done. And, they added a bunch of defensive pieces. And, this year still, Josh was being looked at to put that cape on. I mean, that game in Denver, 5 turnovers isn't great, don't get me wrong. But
so my whole take on the McDermott stuff is, yes, he is a good coach. Yes, I really enjoyed him while he was here. He turned us around from an absolute loser. I mean, when I was a kid, I went my whole life without seeing a Bills playoff game until I was in high school. That's neither here nor there. You have the pieces. Sean McDermott, for as good of a coach he is, can't get over the hump. And in my opinion, if you keep doing the same thing and you expect a different result, magically, you're not going to get it. That's literally the definition of insanity. As far as, getting the wide receivers, I believe personally that Brandon Beane saw what the Chiefs did in 23, where they had no receivers. Their number one wide receiver was Kadarius Toney, who does not have a job right now, and he is like 26.
Yeah,
They have
he's
yeah,
been bad.
they had no wide receivers and a tight end. What does Brandon Beane do? Give him no wide receivers. Here's Dalton Kincaid. Here's Dawson Knox. Make magic. Josh Allen, as much as I love him, couldn't do it. Josh Allen's not Patrick Mahomes, unfortunately. So, I think we're going to go out and we're going to get a wide receiver, whether that be from the draft or free agency or a trade. We're going to get a wide receiver and we're going to do things different. And I think this is the right move. I mean, you look at all the best teams in the league right now, they all have great offensive coaches with a great quarterback. And that's what you need. A defensive coordinator does not do it for you anymore.
Yeah, I mean, look at Mike Tomlin. I mean, granted, Aaron Rodgers is as young as he used to be, but
too.
yeah, I mean, the Harbaugh thing I saw coming because I mean, it's kind of like the same thing with Sean. Not as much success, but it was like, how many years can you go with having the personnel that you have and still not progress farther? And the one thing I did agree with was that Pagula was like there is a playoff wall that's there. And it's not like the Bills have been like in the 7 straight years that they've made it as far as they have, it's never been a blowout game. It's always, I think the most that they've been in the deficit was that one wild card against Cincinnati. But
I saw that the other day that opposing teams are averaging 3.5 points a drive on the Buffalo Bills defense in playoff games. That can't happen, especially when you have a defensive head coach. That cannot happen.
Yeah, and like I was saying, I think the biggest deficit was against the Bengals that one year when it was snowing and Joe Brady was having them throw, or maybe it wasn't Joe Brady. Who was before Joe Brady?
Daboll.
No, wait, is Joe Brady there now?
Yeah.
No, who was the offensive coordinator before Joe Brady?
The guy that got fired halfway through the season? Ken Dorsey?
Yes, that's who it was, that bum. He was having Josh Allen throw like 3rd and 13s while down by 10 in a snowstorm.
To be fair, that was some of the most fun football I ever watched. I mean, Ken Dorsey is not a good offensive coordinator. That showed. He was the Browns' offensive coordinator. But that guy would only dial up 50-yard bombs. It was very fun ball to watch, but it wasn't conducive to winning.
No, yeah, but it's just like, dude, it's snowing, you're down by 10. You have a chance to go up at least to put some points on the board before halftime. But yeah, let's 4 straight plays, throw 50-yard bombs in a snowstorm at home, and let's make magic happen. So, and the Bengals actually went on to the Super Bowl that year. So it's kind of like, but who do you hope that they bring in for a head coach? Because I know they've been doing a lot of interviews. I know Brian DeBoll went to do one. His tenure with the Giants was very stinky. I mean, it is New York. There wasn't much to work with there. But I know Brian DeBoll already is a familiar face that had a hand in the helping in the development of Josh. So maybe
DeBoll is from Buffalo. This guy, we went to high school with his stepson. He lives in the same town I live in. Every year in the summer, we have beer tents in my town, and he always pulls up. The guy is a dude. I love him. Don't think he should be our head coach. I want Clint Kubiak, Seahawks offensive coordinator, as the head coach, and I would sell a kidney to get Flores as the defensive coordinator. But that's not very realistic. But Clint Kubiak is my number one choice. Daboll could be our offensive coordinator. I love that guy.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting next year. There's a lot of big faces in new places. I know Mike Tomlin stepped down, but what people don't realize, I feel like with Tomlin, is that he didn't get fired and he's still on contract. So people would actually have to trade to get him, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but what do you think his value is like? Like realistically,
I wouldn't say very high. I mean, he is one of the most winning coaches.
Third, 4th round?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't. He hasn't won a Super Bowl since Big Ben, and yeah,
Mhm.
he's had a winning season,
A
but
young Big Ben too, like Big Ben's third or fourth year.
like that was back when Larry Fitz was still a prime time wide receiver, and that was way back in the heyday. Like
Ed
talking,
Reed was still at the top of his game.
yeah, like and not just that, but yeah, like we're going back to people that are in the Hall of Fame now. Like so, I don't think that I mean, Mike Tomlin's a great coach. I would like to see him maybe go somewhere, maybe a defensive coordinator somewhere. But he's still under contract with the Steelers, and someone would have to trade for him. I think that's the thing that people don't realize. And not saying that people should have to give up much for him. I do think he's somewhat valuable just to bring in and look at some stuff, but I don't know where he goes, what's looked at.
I'd
And
keep an eye on the Raiders. The Raiders need some guy who's going to be consistent.
yeah, I mean, they also need players that can stay out of jail, and they just have the worst luck with
But yeah,
drafts.
I mean, Tomlin's the best guy for that. Can you imagine a locker room with Big Ben, who was infamous for going on the Pittsburgh local radio and thrashing his teammates when they didn't do stuff right? And then on top of that, in the same locker room, you have Antonio Brown, who you didn't hear a peep from until he was traded to the Raiders, and then Le'Veon Bell, all at the same time. He kept that all under wraps and quiet for
Yeah,
years.
and I mean he's got someone.
Exactly.
He just had someone like Aaron Rodgers, who I mean he's a better guy than what the media paints him as. But you got that along with having the hothead DK Metcalf fighting fans and catching tans. Um, so I don't know. I want to see him still do something, but I don't know. Pittsburgh is just kind of like you just got to rip the Band-Aid off there. I feel like so him stepping down, maybe taking a year back. I mean, plus now it's like is Rodgers retiring? I don't see him coming back with the Steelers. Right now, he's ring chasing, dude. He's pulling a KD in the NFL and just trying to find somewhere.
Vikings finish the Brett Favre career arc.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe he'll go to the Dolphins or something. Find some sunshine somewhere. Which might be kind of baller, dude. Him, Tyreek, little A chain action with some Waddle his ass down there.
Tyreek certainly is going to get released. He's gotta. He's getting paid way too much.
I mean, I would now speaking of Bills needing a receiver, how would you feel about Tyreek on the Bills?
See, like I don't. His whole game is that he's so quick, and after that knee stuff, how quick can he be? I ideally to fix our wide receiver room is I would trade I would trade up in the draft, see where I could strike in there, but I want Alex Pierce bad. Alex
Yeah,
Pierce, the Colts wide receiver, averaging
yeah,
27 yards per catch.
I'm
Imagine
fine
him and
with that.
Josh Allen, and I would pay him unlimited amounts of money, and then I would trade up in the draft and try to land one of those guys.
Is there someone in the draft that you got your eyes on that you would like to see possibly come to the Bills?
I love Cardell Tate from Ohio State. Don't think he's going to come. Don't think we could get. I think he's going to go in the top 10. I don't think the Bills are going to be giving up that much capital to move there and get some guy that's unproven. And then other than that, I mean, I would rather trade for a guy because next year you have so many wide receivers coming out. You have Jeremiah Smith coming out, Ryan Williams coming out, just a ton of huge Cam Coleman coming out, ton of huge names. And like we could be in a situation like we were in 2020 where Justin Jefferson falls to 22 overall. And
Yeah,
that's what I personally see, but who knows? I mean, from the press conference, everyone saw was disgusting and messy. It kind of sounds like they want to do something quick to shut everyone up.
yeah. I'm waiting to see what's going to come across the breaking news for the Bills at this point. And I've heard too that Josh Allen is sitting in every interview and everything with the coach. I think that helps, but also hurts in a way. But I mean, I feel like as long as you get some wide receiver pieces in there, I mean, obviously the defense didn't look too stout. And once you get a couple more, I
Our
think.
last draft, we only drafted 2 offensive players. The rest of them were all defense.
Yeah, and I mean, for the showcase that was for the defense in the playoffs, I honestly felt they should have beat the Jags by more. It was a fun, frisky game, and the Jags were on a roll. But I mean, I'm not a big Trevor Lawrence fan, but the way their running back was just ETM was having a field day out there. But I mean, Josh, I've noticed that when the Bills have a good run game, they do a lot better. It takes a lot of the pressure off. And I mean, now Josh has James Cook, who's been solidified as a number one running back, great running back. And now you got Josh, who's obviously Josh Allen. Playoff Josh is a different animal. Maybe good wide receiver in there, maybe another guy. A lot to look forward to, and I'm excited to see who they bring in, and see what they can get shaken. And part of me wants to just see them at least make it to the big stage, because when they do that, I will be coming home to watch the city burn down. People think Philly's bad. They have not seen what would happen to the. I don't even know what's going to happen, but I know it's just going to be bad.
Well, there's people waiting out by the airport after we lost to Denver in overtime. In 5 degrees in a snowstorm.
Yeah, I mean, I think Josh has got the heart for it. I think he deserves it. And they just got to do right by him and let it get going. But while we are enough on the past, we still got some futures to look at. And we're not going to take too long on this. We're running a hefty pod here, though. I like it though. Good ball talk. We got 2 big games. Unfortunately, which I'm crazy. I'm looking at the odds right now. Denver's only plus 185 with having a backup quarterback who's only started 4 games, maybe.
Stud them.
I think. What's your take on these 2 games? We got New England and Denver, and then we got Seattle and the Rams.
So that Denver game, love the under. The under could be 20 points, and I'd still bet it. Denver has an amazing defense. The only good defense Drake May has played thus far this year has been the Chargers, and he dropped 16 points. I mean, Denver, say what you will, but Sean Payton is a good coach. I mean, Sean Payton can get Stidham going. They're not going to be the normal backup quarterback type team that will be like, all right, we're going to lead in the run game, throw checkdowns. No. Sean Payton will let Stidham air that ball out. On the other hand, the Patriots, just as much as I hate them with every fiber in my being. They're just rolling, dude. And their offense is good when it needs to be, and their run game's good, and their defense is really stood up. However, if you put a gun in the back of my head, the under I like, and I think Denver could cover 4.5. 5 points is a lot in a playoff game, especially on the road. 5 points is a lot. I think Denver could cover. Yeah, Patriots can win. Denver covers.
Yeah, and I mean, and they're in Denver, and I mean, they didn't get this far just with Bo Nix, and I do agree with you. I do think that Sean Payton is a. I mean, look what Philly did with Nick Foles. I mean, so I definitely think that it's not going to be a wash and to completely count them out. If I'm being honest, though, I do think the Patriots steal this game just because. I mean, Drake May didn't have too good of a game last week, but he's been playing out of his mind, and they got a good thing going. But if we're doing coach to coach, obviously I'm taking Sean Payton over Vrabel, and I do think there's still a lot of life left in the Broncos. But if I am being realistic, I do think the winner of Seattle and the Rams are going to take it all. I think that's a fun, frisky game. We got another matchup.
Who do you like?
I want to say the Rams, just because I think it's a revenge game. They had that one game in the beginning of the year where some slipped, dude. They were up by so much, and they just let the Seahawks come get it. I mean, it wasn't a really impressive win against Chicago, which I think Chicago is going to be a frisky team next year to look at. I think Caleb Williams is the first quarterback I've seen in Chicago in a while to really get his footing there. And I mean, it's 2 high-powered offenses whose quarterbacks just know how to play their game. So it's going to be fun. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be a close game. Um, I don't know. And honestly, I say the Rams, but I could. Sam Darnold's been on a tear, and I feel like this is also a thing where
Give me Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks.
you like Sammy D.
Dude, LA, I mean, they have been dominating teams, dude. Seattle gets in there and they fucking roll you, dude. They roll you. They have a great running game. JSN is playing like the best wide receiver in football. And then just when you thought that their offense is super good, bang, they have just the best defense in the league.
Yeah,
And then
Sam Darnold. He's a.
they have Rashid Shaheed, who is the best returner in the game.
Yeah, I also feel like Sam Darnold kind of has a chip on his shoulder after that terrible game at Minnesota playoff last year, and then I wouldn't even say Seattle taking a chance on him. Seattle getting a deal and stealing him because you've seen how JJ worked out there. Although they could have some development time with JJ, he's still young. You can't take a team that was well rounded around Sam Darnold and just throw JJ in there and expect him to do the same. I do think his 6 or 9 or whatever his alter ego is a little corny, but that's near nor there. But I can't get that picture out of my head.
Drafted Justin Jefferson 5th overall in fantasy, and I can't say on camera what I'd do to 9 if I saw him.
Yeah, but all right. So you like a Seattle Broncos Super Bowl? Is this what I'm hearing? Is this
the Broncos part is the hater in me? I mean, I would never admit the Patriots could win this game, even if I thought they did.
But I mean, either way, it's going to be Rams or Seattle Super Bowl this year.
Mm-hmm.
One of them, I feel like, definitely is coming to the NFC. If we're going based off script, the AFC, I think, won last year, so it's now the NFC's turn to win it. So I mean, we covered a lot here, honestly. 52 minutes. We almost got an hour on this pod.
For an emergency pod, 52 minutes?
Yeah, emergency pod. For those who are listening and stuck around this long, I originally called Kyle to get just a little UFC in here just to touch on some different subjects to get some more sports matter under this umbrella. Dan, unfortunately, was going to join. He had a card thing that he was doing. So shouts out Dan. Shouts out Garrett.
Shouts out Dan Garrett. Haven't met y'all, but sure you guys are great people.
Yeah, Bauer is my UFC guy. This is who I go to for that. But also as a ball knower of all umbrellas when it comes to it.
Distant expert.
Yeah, so we covered a lot here. Basically, if you want to know something, it's Seattle Rams Super Bowl. Bet your whole life savings, your kid's tuition, and everything on Sean O'Malley.
Unless, of course, Song Yudong is holstering a knife in his shorts, and
they're gonna have to check his gloves. They're gonna have to check his gloves and do a drug test if he wins, because there's no way. And I think that's pretty much it. That's about to be officially episode 2 of the pod.
Does it go on YouTube?
This will go on YouTube.
If you're listening, like and subscribe. And subscribe.
Go ahead on there, subscribe it. We're gonna bring Kyle back here. Hopefully, maybe Sunday.
There's a main card next week.
Yeah, maybe we can. Maybe what we'll do is we'll touch on maybe a Monday night pod or something. Maybe try to get the other boys in here, and then we'll be able to cover the results of the UFC if you guys can buy a mansion after Sean O'Malley wins. And then we'll be able to talk about if the Broncos do it, if Seattle gets it done, if the Rams end up taking it.
In person pod, late February.
And we could do possibly an in-person pod.
March Madness pod.
But yeah, so that concludes it from that. To everyone that stuck around, thank you. Like, share, subscribe.
Send all your friends.
And keep on tuning in for more takes and everything that is all based on what's according to us. So you guys have a splendid time, a great weekend. Stay safe. God bless. Be good. Do good. God bless. Go Bills.
Go Bills.